I would like to say, as I said last time, Ethiopian courts decided that the two prisoners should get food, which they were denied by the prison authorities. Even the court decides, the prison authorities denied the food for those people who are in prison. This shows that in Ethiopia today, there are two governments. One, the PRDF, is symbolic, as the court sitting and deciding, even though it's not accepted by the prison authorities. And the real power is the TPLF, the terrorist organization registered in the global terrorist database, still terrorizing the Ethiopian people sitting in Addis Ababa. By 2005, there were a promise by the West to donate a large amount of money to Ethiopia, provided that the Ethiopian government shows democracy and transparency. Acrobatic Malay Zenawi said, okay, no problem. We can show you democracy in Ethiopia. You can send your observers, the Europeans, Americans, and Africans. They went to observe the election, and it was a good democracy, a good start in the beginning. The press was free. The opposition could participate without any fear. And shows it turns in Miazia 29, we call it May 7, May 5. A huge amount of Addis Ababa people demonstrated to the coalition. That shows the TPLF government and changed 100-degree their plan. And the election day, when was Sabat, that's May 1st, the Ethiopian people chose that they elect the opposition. In Addis Ababa, the majority, totally the PRDF is out from the office. As that day, Malay Zenawi changed his plan. He ordered 55,000 military to Addis Ababa. Wrecked roadblocks around Addis Ababa. Special trained Agazi forces in place in every and each building, in cars, in trucks, in every house. Sharpshooters were there. And he declared a state of emergency. According to the constitution, the Ethiopian constitution, he signed. It was the parliament to declare the state of emergency. But for him, it's no problem. He just declared a state of emergency because he has the power. And the Agazi forces were given impunity to do everything they want, to kill, to harass, to detain, and to loot even. They loot the bank, they loot the shops, and they blame the opposition. For that, the university students start protesting. They wanted to exercise their democratic right given by the constitution, but that constitution, democratic right, didn't help. It didn't help, they start shooting. The first victim was Shibrila Saleh, a young girl, only pen and paper in her hands, She had a bright future to study, to complete her school, help her family and her country. But her dream was not in real. As I started killing, I started mass killing. With this mass killing, about 200 people in Addis Ababa only were killed. Among them, the children playing football, a woman crying for her husband, a man who was praying, and everybody who didn't know, who doesn't include with these political processes. And then the warden shouted, and they started blaming the government. Yes, the government pretends and elect an inquiry commission. Inquiry commission presented by the so-called parliament. Under that inquiry commission, with the chairman of Judge Samuel Freyhwat, he was supposed to be here today, but unfortunately due to the passport problem, he didn't make it. And we would try to contact him by Skype. There are no good connection. Sorry that he is not with us today. But this inquiry commission did a very good job. The tricky thing, the tricky part of this inquiry commission too, was a limited mandate given to them. That they should only investigate the victims, not the killers, not the criminals. Is that the inquiry commission? Yes, even though they did what they have to do. They investigated the crimes, the victims who were shot, in what place, what time, age, place, and everything. They did a very good job. And finally, they decided 10 out of 8 that it was in excess of force they used. 2 of them was in favor of the government. After this, they forced them to lie down that investigation. Fortunately, they flee from the country. They went out with the document, and we got that document. When we see that document, me and Mr. Stella, we decided that this document is okay, and we have to proceed with the legal process. But I thought in the beginning it was very easy. We have the document, we have all the evidence we need. It is the government we killed, there's no question. And we had the video evidence too, that Meles Zenawi reluctantly admits that they killed 200 people. Very funny. But he didn't take any action to why they didn't kill, why they didn't take the responsible persons to justice. So for that reason, we try to investigate who did that. According to the law, I thought it's very easy. I'm not a jurist. How this jurist process will go, but I learned some information from Mr. Stella, and he told me, if you go to the justice, to the court, you have to be specific who did that command. In Ethiopia, as you know, as I said in the beginning, the EPRDF is just a simple government. The real power is with the TPLF. And this TPLF who did these crimes, to go in the TPLF camp, see who was the command of this area, is not so easy. So at that time, Addis Ababa was set, so the professional committee was set by the Mallas Zenawi. The government was dissolved. The local police was disarmed. It is only the Agazi, federal police, and special selected cadres from Tigray. So they erect a committee, a national committee, led by Mallas Zenawi, and Addis Ababa Command Force, led by Arkabe Kobai. Now, Arkabe Kobai divided the Addis Ababa city into 7 command posts. These 7 posts had their own command forces, combined with Tigrayan's cadre, military, special trained Agazi forces. It is these Agazi forces who killed and committed crimes against the Ethiopian people. Now, to find those responsibles who were in that command post was a challenge. Even the Addis Ababa people who were the victim, even the government, the PRDF government, the people who works with the PRDF government didn't know who was that person in that command post. Nobody knows. The funny thing is, a person who works 4 years together with his comrade, his name, he doesn't know his name. After 4 years, he doesn't know his name. He knows only his nickname. The TPLF is still, or are still, using their nicknames, which have brought in the forest. They are still guerrilla fighters. So what we did is, we try to contact different peoples, different organizations who are accessed with this intelligence network. Through that intelligence network, we try to find the informations who ordered these crimes against the people. And finally, luckily, we found a person who was in the command post, in central command post Addis Ababa, who have been there where Samora Yunus and Tadesse Worede ordered to kill the innocent people. And then goes on. Once you get one information, just go on. So we found some structures, the structures of the committee, the national committee. We found the Addis Ababa command post, who was responsible in that area. And we have the inquiry commission who killed in that area. And it was not enough. That was not enough to prosecute these criminals. So what we did is, we start hearing witnesses around the world, by Skype, by telephone, by mail, and by inviting them just to testify physically. In this case, we gathered a lot of information, and enough information, and then we did day and night. Mr. Stellan used to work me at night, and we used to be very mad because he interrupted me in my sleep. But he doesn't sleep. He works for us, for our people, for the victims of Ethiopia. And I would like to just appreciate him at once. Thank you, Mr. Stellan. So, how this legal process goes, I forgot to tell you that it's not only me and Mr. Stella. There are a lot of people involved in this process, especially a person who I never forget is. I wouldn't call his name, his real name, because due to the organizational discipline. But I would like to thank him at this time that works day or night, and he's very, very accessible in all the information I want. And I would like, I used to call him when the kid, but those who knows, really, if he was not with us, this work wouldn't have been done. So I would like to thank him, really. And then I would like to thank also the two jurists also who were working with us, Elsa and what was his name? The two young jurists who are working with us, Jennifer and Abara. A lot of people are involved in this area, even from diaspora or even in the country. I wouldn't like to mention their names due to their security. So thank you very much. This is the process we did, but I will let Mr. Stellan explain how this juridic process is going on. The day before yesterday, we submitted to the police. The interesting thing that the police said, after looking at the document, he was very satisfied, and he told me, if anybody calls you, threaten you and your family, and he just called me. He just called me, and you did a very good job. So I really appreciate that, and I'm really very proud that to be in Sweden. We are very peaceful here, and that's why we are in Sweden. We can do anything we want accordingly. So thank you everybody, and thank you Mr. Samad. You can proceed about this legal process, how we are going to proceed and what is the problem. And the thing I forgot to say is, with this process, we have paid some money for practicantes to go through the constitution, read the Ethiopian constitution, read the international law, collect the information, and summarize everything. It needs a lot of energy. So we paid some money. So that's why we need some payment there. We need help. We need money. Without money, we can't do these things. Even Mr. Stellan is working for free, and I work for free, and everybody works for free. But there is a need of money. Without money, without information, without cooperation, we can't go further. So please, this is the real struggle. We have started, and we have to proceed. This is a good start. The investigation is already started. We are fortunate. So we don't have to stand up on the way because of money. Thank you. Okay, you can proceed, Mr. Stellan.
Okay. Yes. I'm as you know, perhaps I'm the chair of a legal human rights organization in the name of Applied Human Rights. And the idea about this organization is to take action and to give information about the possibility to really apply rights, not just to have them there on the wall, but also to argue them, and if rights are violated, to use them in court, to ask for compensation for violations, and also to ask for criminals to be brought to justice, in order for the states who are responsible to actually live up to the obligations of the state that are bound by these international agreements. And I think we have come to a period of international cooperation where only signing and say that we are obliged to follow human rights is not enough. It's also time to make human rights a reality. It's time to see to that the countries and nations who have signed the international norms and conventions live up to the norms, and if they don't do it, they have to pay for it. They have to see to that violated people will have compensation for property stolen, for the torture that people have received, and that you have gone to prison for a long time without a fair trial. It's a violation of human rights, and there is a value on these things, and you can ask the state where the representatives are that has violated the right for compensation of that right. At the same time, we have what we have done so far. We have actually asked the Swedish police to investigate the crimes as such first, and see to that we hope really within 2-3 weeks that there will be a decision from the Swedish police to make a warrant on the people who are responsible, to have them questioned and interrogated, and if they are in Europe or in anywhere else in the country who is bound by the Interpol regulations, they will be arrested wherever they go, if the Swedish police ask for it. And I really do hope so. And there are prospects that something will happen. I think also due to the work from Ola and all the friends, we have enough proofs that people are killed, that they have committed the crimes, and also that we know also who are the responsible people. And but I will say like this, that there is always need for additional proofs and witnesses. So my question to you is: do you know anything about what happened 2005 that you haven't reported to Mr. Molla and his friends? You should do it. And if you know a person that has been under any violations during 2005, please ask them to come forward and ask them to tell their stories. And we could use them, because all these crimes and all these killings in the streets of Addis Ababa are on different blocks of the city, and different units of the Agassi and militaries are responsible for different blocks. So in order to claim responsibility from different military leaders, you also you have to know where they were, and the units, what units it was, and the place of the death and so on. We have come very far within the investigations, but I think we need more. So please, if you have any possibility to support the looking for proofs and evidence, please tell us. What will happen is that within 2-3 weeks we will have a decision from the prosecutor to start the investigation at all. And in the worst case, they will say no. Some months ago, there were one police notice regarding the president of Eritrea regarding this journalist who was Swedish citizens. But they stopped that investigation, didn't start it, because the people who were responsible had political immunity, and all the proofs were in Eritrea. But in our case, we have a lot of witnesses in Sweden. We have people who are now Swedish citizens who have very grave violations against them from the representatives of the state of Ethiopia in Sweden. and we have refugees here and so on. And in addition, we have this fantastic report from this inquiry commission about every death, why they were, how they were killed, where they were killed, date, time of the killing. So I think that the police has already told us that this is an unique situation, that we can bring forward this kind of material to the Swedish police in regard to what did happen. It's on paper, officially signed by 9 people who actually say this is what happened. And this is a judge and other very high-standing people from Eritrea who were appointed by the Prime Minister to do the investigation. So that is a very new situation. So I hope we will be able to inform you about 2 or 3 weeks what will happen with this. The second phase of this is that now we have 9 people who, within this charge against these 13 suspects, we have a claim for 130 million Swedish crowns, divided on these 11 people, and they have given me power of attorney to represent them against these criminals or suspects. And that will also be developed, that kind of claim for compensation. It's like it's property, it's unfair proceeding in courts, it's torture, it's rape, it's very grave human rights violations that actually have to be compensated if proven and evidence are in place. And so we will see if there will be an investigation and the search will go on. We could actually also continue with this claim for compensation within the criminal proceedings. There will be, it will be also possible to go on a civil claim against the Ethiopian state wherever in the world they have any property. So if they own a car in Sweden, we can ask the car to be confiscated in support of a claim for compensation of human rights violation, due to that this car belongs to the state of Ethiopia and in Sweden. So then we have access to Swedish court who could actually arrest that car for the compensation of the human rights violation. But if you're going to stop that part of the other parallel phase, it is legally possible, no problem. But but that will be individuals who claim compensation with me as their lawyer or any other lawyer. And that means that they will also be responsible for court costs if they lose their case and they can't prove or give evidence to the violations of them. So I have told